Good afternoon. I just want to start off by saying that we had our practice inside today, and that was by design. We wanted to practice and go through our logistics of our weather plan. So we did our walkthrough inside. It started out with our offense, did right after meetings, did their walkthrough in our indoor right behind the weight room there. And the special teams went after that. For 10 minutes, and then our defense went for 20 minutes, and just going through, again, the next day install of concepts and fundamentals and calls and, offensive calls and defensive calls. So, and then we went to the indoor. That's the indoor. It's only one field, so typically we have offense on one field and defense on one field, during individual time. So we have space to throw deep balls and deep concepts. But today we had to share the field inside. So it was good. Guys were safe in there, used their space well. I thought the operation with Team Ed and the managers was outstanding, and went off pretty good. Finished the practice with a 7-on-7. We got the chance to work against the offense, and the defense works against the offense and defense, so forth. But that was great. And then we finished with 11-on-11 at the end. And we had about 12 plays of 7-on-7 and then 12 plays of 11-on-11. I thought that was real good execution for the first day. No pads on, obviously, so we're going through the tempo, which we can go through at this time, the phase we're in. So excited about that. But the team looked good, lots of good energy, lots of good hustle. We'll go back and evaluate the tape now. And I talked to the players about we're going to be evaluating their finish, because the finish matters. That's a big part of it. And we detail that out with the players. That's by position. Talk to the guys about that. This is a good finish here. This one needs to improve. Need to finish 5 more yards here. That's from the receivers to the quarterbacks to the defensive backs to everybody. So that'll be the main focus of our coaching staff watching the tape this afternoon. So we'll open it up to questions after that.
Can you give an example of a finish correction that you'll make?
Yeah, real simple. So let's just say it's an outside toss play to the right, offensive right going this way. And say you got a defensive end on the backside. So they're not blocking him. He's unblocked, and they're going to go climb to the linebackers. And that defensive end's chasing that play. And typically that play cuts up right around the numbers or inside the numbers, right? So let's just say the thing cuts up there, and the defensive player could have made that play, and he stops right around the split and doesn't finish. He stops a little short, but he could have made the play. So we'll just tell him, hey, the team period's tag-off period. You got to finish those last 3 yards, and we want you to accelerate all the way to and through the tag. That would be an example of that. Another example would be a receiver on the backside blocking that same play. He's supposed to climb up to the safety, right? And say he gets halfway, in the middle of the field, and he stops. Well, that's not good enough. You got to keep on going to that safety and finish your block. So that matters. That matters in the NFL. It matters at every level. We can do that better than anybody else does, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Jackson was out there today. What can he learn from practice like today, and were you happy to see him today after he wasn't there yesterday?
No, it was good. It was good to see him out there. He looked quick in the drills, looked fluid, looked real athletic. He was finishing well. We obviously talked about that with him as well, and everybody. I thought he caught the ball well in drills. He's got a good set of hands on him. I thought his vision was good in coverage from what I saw. Yeah, he looked good, looked quick.
What do you make of these last couple of years, going back and looking at some of these, obviously super productive early and that production was
Yeah, like I said way back when we first got here, it's a clean slate for him. So we look at that for sure, and we look at it through a positive lens. What can he do? And what has he done on the positive side? And that's what we're looking for with every player, because if they can do it, they will do it. And it's our job as coaches to get them and help them to get to that point again.
I'm sure you like your receivers, but Mooney's really the only proven productive NFL receiver. How important is it to get more accomplished veterans to fully develop Justin Fields?
Well, we're always looking for more players. That's the NFL. That's the nature of the business. If you can acquire those guys, in what is it, in less than 10 days or whatever now for the draft, let's acquire guys there at every position Let's add starters to our the starting lineups if we can, with those first 2 or 3 picks for sure. And then we're always trying to acquire great players, guys that can help us. And to your point, we're trying to do that at every position. Mooney is a good player, and he looked really good in the drills. He looked quick. He does finish really well, and we're excited about where he is in terms of his speed and his quickness and his athletic ability to catch the ball and run after the catch.
Have any other guys stood out to you yet, or have you seen anything that excites you about any of the other younger guys?
In terms of
Receivers.
yeah, they all look good. I mean, to me, it's like, it's early on, but sure, yeah, they all look good. I thought, I'm not going to say one particular guy, but you mentioned Mooney, so I think he looked great.
I know you've addressed Tevin Jenkins and Larry Borum at the tackle spots yesterday, but is it significant that they're at least getting the first shot at those positions?
Yeah, I think that's significant for everybody. If you're getting those first lineup role, spots in terms of their reps, I mean, so I think that's really good. I mean, they're getting all that teaching from SEMO. They're getting all the looks right now. So anybody that's in that position is getting quality reps for sure. Those guys are working day to day.
Man, I know you're still getting a sense of how you want to use certain players, but what's your sense of the fit for Roquan Smith within your defense? And what's your level of enthusiasm, I guess, for what he can be for your scheme?
Yeah, I had a chance to spend a whole day with him when he was drafted. He came with the former team I was with, and I spent the whole day with him. And I think the world of Roquan Smith, just as a person, as his retention rate. We tested him, in terms of what he can do in terms of memorizing defenses and getting it back to you. And he's done a good job so far with his. I like the way he moves. He's quick. He's athletic. Again, he catches the ball well. That's an important part of our defense. I like where he is. And we'll figure out where he fits. What his skill set can do, how he is covering backs, how he is covering tight ends. Again, we've only had 12 reps now of 11 on 11, so it's still early in the game.
You ended up drafting Leonard in that draft, of course, in that same draft. What stood out about Smith? And I guess, are you able to draw the parallels between him and Leonard?
Oh, they're all different. I mean, that was a great linebacker draft, of course, that year, and all those guys are still playing really well. So the comparisons of them, they're different body types, different instincts, different levels of play in terms of, how they get the job done. But yeah, both of them are really accomplished, good players.
Matt, we were
As
talking.
you set up your defense and you look at the players who will be involved in that, is Roquan Smith the key to that? Do you need him to almost be a partner with you in this project?
Yeah, I would say that really Roquan being the position that he's in, playing inside linebacker for us is a huge role. Urlacher Briggs they were big components to the great defense that they've had here in the past, and that's going to be no different. We're looking for those same type of guys. We want a pair of guys in there that are really dominant in there, and we're going to work towards that. And Roquan is in those plans, so we're excited about where he is.
Kind of going off that, we were talking with Roquan today just about being a leader on this team and kind of helping the transition to the new defense. And what have you seen from him in that aspect and how he can be a leader for you?
Yeah, I just seen his leadership in the walkthroughs in the weight room, what he's done, throughout the whole process here. We know we had a nice walkthrough today. He's making the calls and making the adjustments, and he's a very positive and upbeat person, and that's the way he's been the whole time. And we expect that from him. Because when you got a guy that's in front of your offense or defense, man, if that guy's positive and he wants to, and he's a get-it-done guy, and I always say this to the guys, that you are a yes, we can type of guy. So that means when they look at you, they look and say, yes, we can. And that's what he does, and that's the kind of guy he is, and that's the kind of attitude he exudes, that type of attitude.
Now, when you have a chance these 3 days to test out some different offensive line combinations, move guys around, and knowing that the draft is next week, how does that factor into your plan and what might fit better potentially in the second or third rounds, in drafting an offensive lineman, maybe over other positions in need?
Yeah, I think we're looking at the whole team. And I know that's a coach answer, I understand, but we really are. And, I was talking to Ryan today during, part of the practice there, and we're just really looking at every position and where can we add value to our football team. And that's really what we're doing. And I know that's a general answer, but that's really what we're going to do. And we're going to assess this camp tomorrow afternoon, we'll talk about it as a scouting staff and a coaching staff together, and talk about each player and each individual player and see where they are, and positives and things they can improve, and where that fits in. Then we'll have a meeting later that day and talk about where that fits into the draft. So we're on top of it, and it's just a process we got to go through.
It's obviously still really early, but what's your initial intrigue in Travis Gibson as a pass rusher?
Yeah, I like him a lot. The film I saw from last year, we know he had the sack production, and athletic, long player that's able to capture the edge, able to level rush, and has a good motor on him. So we're excited about his athletic ability on the corner there.
What do you look for in the next phase here, the next 6-7 weeks from him to get a better feel for how he?
Yeah, just consistency. Consistency. He was more of an edge guy. Can he play different spots for us, in terms of outside of tight end, inside of tight end, 5 technique? Can he kick inside on pass rush downs? And really just trying to figure out where he fits, holistically in our defense.
Hey, what have you, for a second, what have your first impressions been of Roquan and Nick Morrow working together?
Yeah, that's a partnership. It's like anything else. When you go, you partner or you're a cubicle buddy with a guy, right? That's a partner deal where you got to make sure that you're on the same page, and speaking the same language. So as they learn the defense, now and now we're working together and we're learning from each other at the same time. And that's going to be a process, and that's just reps for both guys. And we're going to have different combinations in there. It's not going to always be those two guys. We'll flip guys in and out of there and move it around a little bit and see what pair we like the best. So we're going to continue to do that.
Matt, what have you gleaned from Getsy about David Montgomery and what his role is, what his role can be, what his ceiling is in this offense?
Yeah, we're going to stretch that role for all those backs and see what they can do. I mean, that's the whole process of this time of year. We're going to stress those guys and stretch their role, meaning that can he run the whole gamut of the passing tree, which it looks like he can. What kind of routes is he good at? And how's the timing of that? Can he beat guys one-on-one consistently? Is it a safety or a linebacker that's covering him? Can he do that? And we're certainly it's a positive way for that guy to do that. If he can beat all those guys, DBs and linebackers, and we feel he has the skill set to do that.
How much different can his production be? I mean, he's actually in an offense that really didn't rank very high or wasn't very productive. He's actually a productive player. How much better can his production be in this offense at full throttle?
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit. We don't put ceilings on guys. If you do that, I think that's not a good way to go. So we always leave it open. If the guy can climb all the way and go all the way up, man, go. We encourage you to do that, and we'll keep feeding you. And that's the whole process of our whole football team. And we never put a ceiling on anybody. And the sky's the limit for him and everybody else.
We have two more Justin Fields' name yet. So I'll take that straight. Going back and looking at the film of yesterday, what did you see? Did anything jump out that you didn't mention yesterday?
No, just much like I said yesterday. Good fundamentals, footwork's improving, timing's improving, looked good, operation was good, and same today. The same was today. I think he took another step forward today, and that's really good for our football team.
Pass rushers were working with a tackling dummy that had like a football taped almost like a quarterback right here.
Yeah.
How important is it to not just talk about going after the ball, but actually practice that?
Yeah, because, in practice against Bears versus Bears, obviously we can't do that. We're never going to touch our quarterback. So in drill work, our defensive line have to do a great job of getting that strip sack, and practicing that. It's run, reach is what we say. And that's, and the run part is really the finish, because the most part you'll miss those strip sacks by just inches at times. And we say run, reach, and reach is to reach as far as you can, because when people say reach that far, you can reach even farther. So we're trying to get them to do that because it's a game of inches. And strip sacks are huge in this league, so we just practice that day to day.